Well, good morning, you two. Now, thanks to you, I think I know exactly what I need if I was going to the North Pole. I've got my warm coat, I've got a thick woolly hat, keep me nice and warm, and I've packed my bag. So I've got a suitable baglet, and thanks to your ideas, I've now got some suitable things inside it too. So I've got my shelter, I've got pegs and a mallet to keep it nice and secure. I've got thick woolly socks, really important, some rope. I've got some binoculars, a great idea for helping Tom spot his dad. And I've got my compass to help me find my way. And really importantly, I've got a cup for a nice warm cup of tea. Right, I think we're now ready for today's writing lesson. Let's go.
The Great Explorer by Chris Judge. Tom's dad was a famous explorer. One morning when Tom went down to breakfast, dun, 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 he was shocked to see a picture of his dad on the front of the morning newspaper. The news! Famous explorer is lost in the North Pole. His dad had got lost while exploring the North Pole. Tom resolved there and then to go and rescue him. First, he studied his globe of the world and found the North Pole. Let's have a look and see if we can find the North Pole on a globe. So starting at our school, there's French, look. And if we look across a little bit, we'll find year 2. Can you see it? See if you can spot our outside area. And then we're going to come all the way out. So we can see Kidderminster. Then we can see, if we go even further, we can see the shape of the UK. Have a really good look. And then we're going to spin the globe around, see if we can find the North Pole. So we type in the North Pole and search for it, and there it is, right in the middle of the Arctic Sea. And if we come back out again, we should be able to see where the North Pole is on the globe and where the UK is. You might want to pause it on the next screen and have a little look and see where they both are. And back to Tom. Then he bought a map so he could find his way there, packed his bag, and set off on his first adventure. Have a good look at the next picture. It shows all the items Tom took in his bag. Pause the screen. Can you name them all? What are they all called? Then come back and we'll have a little check. Were you able to name them all? Well, going from one side, we've got food, fishing rod, sleeping bag, saucepan, cup, tent, compass, flares, matches, pick, torch and binoculars. Did you get them all? Casting off, he set sail out into the big blue ocean. After sailing for many weeks, Tom knew he was close to the North Pole when gigantic icebergs appeared on the horizon. What an amazing sight that must have been! It's really important that as an explorer, you keep records, photographs, and that you keep in touch with people back at home, that you write about your adventures. So today we're going to start thinking about that. Over the next couple of days, you're going to work towards writing a note to Mum to tell her about your adventure so far. So today we're going to recognise and write in the past tense to start building up some of the words that we need. You're going to need words like verb, past, irregular, which means some of them don't follow the patterns that we're going to look at, suffix, those letters we add at the end of a word, and change. The first thing we're going to do is watch a little video to remind us of what a verb is. Listen carefully as you're going to do an activity after.
Well, what a lovely view. The perfect place to tell you all about verbs. Oh, I spoke too soon. There's some building work going on. Where were we? Oh yes, a verb is a word used to describe an action. That's doing something. Or a verb can be used to describe a state. That's feeling something. Or a verb can be used to describe an occurrence. That's something happening. You can't even have a sentence or question without a verb. That's how amazingly important verbs are. The workers here are working. Working is a doing word. They work up on this building all day long. Work is also a verb because it is an occurrence. Oh dear, what's this? They can hear something. Hear is also a verb.
The workers can see a gorilla monster climbing the building. Yes, that's correct, gorilla monster. You climbed the building. You are a clever gorilla monster.
I hope that was a good reminder of what a verb is. Now it's time for your turn. Read the words in the box and pull out those that you think are verbs, things that you can do, things that are action words. If you'd like an extra challenge, see if you can sort the words into nouns, verbs and adjectives. There are reminders of what those word classes are on the next screen. Have a go and then come back for a check. Did you get them all? So words like pencil and teacher are nouns because they're names of things. Verbs are things like skipping, looking, or jump because they're things that you can do. And adjectives such as big, pretty or long describe things. But today we're focusing on writing in the past tense. Have a look at this section from our guided reading text. Can you find the verbs in past tense? What do you notice about them? So we've got the words slumped and opened, and hopefully you spotted that they've got the ed suffix. I know this is something we've looked at before. But also there's the word began. That's past tense, but it's totally different. So sometimes we've got words that follow a pattern where we add the ed suffix, and other words break the rules, they're irregular. Now time for another your turn. Read the words on the screen. Can you make matching pairs of verbs? How have they changed when they're in past tense? So hopefully you were able to match them all up. Plan became planned, explore became explored, go became went, hope became hoped, walk became walked, and carry became carried. But were there any patterns? Well, sometimes we can just add ed, like with the word walk. It changes to walked, you've just added ed. Sometimes you need to double the last letter, so if you hear a short vowel, a, e, I, o, or u, before the last consonant, you double the consonant and then add ed. If it ends in an e, you just need one e, so it just becomes explored or hoped. And if the word ends in a y, you change the y to I and add ed. Some words are irregular, like go, that changes to went. Here are the rules again. Have another look before we have a game of past tense penguins, a great way to practice applying the rules. Read a word, then pause the screen. Think about how you need to change it into past tense. What rule do you need to think about? You might want to write it down and have a go. Then press play to check if you were right. Now that you've had a practice, have a read of these words. They are definitely not correct. See if you can spot the mistakes and correct them. We're able to purple pen the spellings. Move, you're right, ended in an E, so we don't need two E's, we just needed ED. Spotted had the short vowel and O before the T, so needed two T's. Seed, I didn't seed it, I saw it yesterday. So that's one of our irregular verbs that changed altogether. And carry ended in a Y, so it needed to change to I. Okay, so now it's time for my turn. I'm starting to think about the letter that I'm going to write to Mum tomorrow. I've got to make sure that I write about these pictures in past tense. So if I think about our steps to success, I need a capital letter. I need to remember the rules for putting those words into past tense, and I need a full stop. Right, now I'm going to think, say, write and check my sentence.
About it. So I watched the orcas play in the water. Now let's make it a bit more interesting. I watched the playful orcas jump in the water. Okay, let's add another adjective for the water. So it would be absolutely freezing in the North Pole. So I watched the playful orcas jump in the icy water. Okay, let's put our noisy punctuation in now. I watched the playful orcas jump in the icy water. Full stop. Right, let's count the words. I watched the playful orcas jump in the icy water. Full stop. 10 words. We can do this.
Okay, now I'm writing my sentence. So my verb is watch. I'm going to put it into the past tense. I think I just add ED. That looks right. Okay, trying to put those letters on the line, making sure if I can use those joins I am, but making sure that my letters are formed correctly. Okay, my descending Y, that F, that greedy F, playful, orcas, jump, sound it out with me, jump, in, remembering those finger spaces, the icy. What letter is making the S sound in icy? You're right, it's a C. Water. And I know I need my full stop at the end. My steps to success are at the top there to remind me. Right, I've written it. Now it's time for a check. Okay, so I'm going to read it back through straight away, missing my capital letter. So I've purple penned my nice capital I. Okay, now I'm going to think about, I've spotted a spelling that's not correct. So I'm using my bits and bobs and I'm looking for the word water. It should be the ER on the end. So I've corrected that as well with my purple pen. But I can see I've got my capital letter. I know I've got my ED on watched. And I've got my full stop, so I can give myself a green for great for following the rules and adding ED, and a green for great for my full stop. Now it is your turn. So there are some words at the top of this page. I would like you to, as a Chilli Challenge 1, you could choose the correct word to complete the sentences. So Tom, his trip, which word would you use? Okay, then there are some more pictures on the next slide. You can write as many sentences as you would like using those verbs in past tense. The rules are here to remind you, and remember to think, say, write and check your sentences back through. Remember to send all of your hard work to our Year 2 email address. There's a reminder of it at the end of this video, and I look forward to seeing how you get on.